Jokeman said, "You are getting better, aren't you?" They were like, "Smile, faggot." Oh, you have to tell them faggot, do you? What? Well, I bought cheese supreme corn chips. He said that's faggot smell, Jokeman in his baby voice. Said he does this like a little kid. I know it's Jokeman because that's what he does. Michelle Vidler loves using that voice as well sometimes. She'll make like a baby sound. She was saying oh yeah, that's right. She was saying in bed today when I was in bed, she said, "You're just a nerd." That's what she said. "You're a loser nerd." That's what she said to me. And I was like, "What, a nerd? A loser for being happy, a nerd for being happy?" And Florence King was like, "I don't agree with that at all, Ben." She said, "I don't agree with that. If you're happy, that's great." So God was like, "She's scum." That's what he thought of Michelle Vidler. So there's not always agreement with, even with psychics, with what they say. Oh yeah, "When Tomorrow Comes" was the song on in Woolworths, and everyone was like, "We love your facial expression, Ben. You're getting more and more fagger." And Joker was like, "That's fagger smell." So I bought cheese supreme corn chips with Woolworths brand. But in all fairness, I was criticising Michelle's reading, and she was defending herself because she thought that helping people with like spiritual material would raise my vibration and help me, like if I went and did that business, and it probably would. But I did hear that it wouldn't work if you manipulated people. That's also what I heard. Maybe you had to be completely honest, like if you were going to help them with that material. I don't know. But she didn't think mathematics would work for me like what they're telling me to do now, when it would actually have been better probably altogether. But maybe that's something I don't completely understand because I never took her path to what she said. But that's why she said, "Oh, you're just a nerd." So I think I think that was her way of manipulating me when she wasn't really caring about me. And that's probably why it didn't work. So I think that was what they were trying to say about the manipulation thing. She was trying to mold me to what she thought I should be. Maybe. But that's just faggot can come. That's what they were saying. And that's just as if, so you shouldn't never hurt people. And if you feel like you're being hurted, do what you want to do with what you think you should do, and that's your own amazing wisdom. If you like mathematics, do mathematics. If you like coming a certain way or like a certain sexual fantasy, do it. That's why they're saying faggot can come, because it's your amazing wisdom. And that's exactly why when I did that ellipse with the tangent to it that was undefined and vertical or whatever, the interpretation I gave it spiritually was that it's undefined because only you can define it. It's defined when you define it, but love is everlasting, and it transmutes and it changes as well. So you might change in a year's time. So no one's going to tell you what that is but you. And I'm lucky to have my higher self here that validates me with all the stuff that I know that I like within, and that's all the stuff he's interested in. So I'm learning to not doubt myself with my higher self here chipping in. And he said, "Good for you." That's what he just said. I heard him say that, because I'm basically helping you by validating you with what that inner core, most stuff that you felt was right all along is probably your higher self trying to steer you in the direction that you were supposed to be going. Because your higher self is your own vibrational indicator. It's not your spirit guides, it's your higher self that gives you that like rush or that feel good, like, whatever it is. Like, that's your being. So spirit guides help you though, but I still listen to them because it's wisdom. I still listen to God, but it's wisdom. But I was like, the last few years when I've been faffing around, like, that was the right thing because I was listening to people, wasn't it? And God was like, "Not entirely." That's what he said, "Not entirely." I should have just done what I wanted to do all along, was the right answer. But anyway, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for that. So it's not meant to be perfect either. What is it? So how much amazing wisdom did you bring into reality was always really not the answer, but it's the ideal answer. Yeah, don't be hard on yourself about it either. That's not the idea either. I don't give a shit one bit. And that's what God's made me. He's made me someone that doesn't give a shit. So that's why I'm lucky. So we're crossing the road here. That's why God's wisdom should never be underestimated. Well, lucky I was getting. My ex's uncle that is always like, he's always thinking of me. And he was like, that's because you're a cocksucking dog, man, and I like cocksuckers. That's what he said, so there you go. So here's the petrol station. You're coming back, someone said. Here's the pathway. So it's gotten dark. Okay. More walking, more opening up, more transparency, more unraveling. Ooh, this looks interesting. What's that there? I think it's like a veranda. Yeah, just like a... Oh yeah, and to stop people throwing stuff probably into their backyard. Like just a shield. Because the main road's there, it's homeless people, some of them live here. And yeah. They think you're right, wanker, that's what they said. They think you're right. So, got cheese supreme corn chips, $2. 10 I'm pretty sure they were, just the home brand ones. So I don't watch every cent, but when I've spent, enough money for the fortnight, I do, I'll spend still, but I'm just a bit more careful, I suppose, a bit more wiser with what I know I have left. They were on Zip Pay, those corn chips, so... But I pay that off like every... I've got a debt there, but I pay like $40 off of it every month, I think. But I don't let it get over $1,000 ever, because that's the limit that they have for me. So... Wait. This isn't a bad job getting to do all these videos. Jokeman said I'm faggot scum. That's what he said. Is that because... Why is that, Jokeman? Is that because you are a little bit bisexual? I'm crossing the road. Is that because you know about oneness, Jokeman? And that you know that you're me? Is that because you don't validate my higher self's amazing wisdom? Is that why you're faggot scum? Is it because... I'm guessing it's the oneness thing. That was my first thought. That he is me and he understands my oneness material. So if I'm faggot scum, he's faggot scum. It could mean anything. Do I have to sit there and try and work out what it means? Not really. No. Oh, because of the car. Huh. Yeah. He doesn't really like the car idea. Oh, his car. He's got a Mitsubishi Lancer. That was like to him, that's like a rallier, isn't it? Like, he was happy about that. That's my wisdom, that's what he said. Oh yeah, the rally art. There's like a new service station that opened up here, and they did like a mural, like a graffiti, not a graffiti mural. I guess it was like a graffiti mural, but it looked really good. I think it's like LMCV or something. I think that's the name of it. And I was looking at the mural, and I was like, gee, I know what this means. It was like petrol with going out like of a of a petrol trigger, and it had like cents next to it, and there was like a race car down the bottom with like bundles of money like on the ground. And I was looking at it, and that's your step ladder. There was like a step ladder next to it, and I thought it was all about sex. That's what I was getting. And it was like the man that holds the petrol is not a king, because it's like the crown was above his head. And I was like interpreting it all, and there were like smiles like all around the petrol thing, as if to say, look, this is superior if it's to help people, but not really, sort of thing. You're not really a true king for that sort of thing. And I was like, this is really interesting. And then I saw another post, and it was like about the guy that ran the petrol station. He was like giving the middle finger, like saying fuck you, and he was like, look, I can't really blame the guy because he's still attached to the man, but I can't really blame him, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's cheap or if it's not cheap, like what he's doing now. And I felt like he was talking about me, and I felt like, hi, he's actually quite energetic. Like I was reading into him, and like, good on you for, and he was like, why do all these people hate me? I don't know if it was the same guy, but hate my business. And I was like, oh, I'm hearing cut. I was like, I think it's great what you're doing, like with your business. I don't think God wants me talking about this anymore. Anyway, he likes Cerner, I'm getting. There's a dragon fruit here. What should we talk about, God? This is a creek next to this trail. I actually went down there before, and it looks like there were some edible plants, just like some leafy plants in there. And I was like, are these edible, God? And he was like, yeah, you can eat them, Ben. And I like walked down there, and I picked off a leaf, and I smelt it, and it smelt a bit rivery and a bit musky, like it had that smell to it. Like I think I took a bite and licked it to see what it was tasting like. And I think Florence King was like, it's not really ideal, Ben. Like we wouldn't really eat that. And I thought, okay, and I just dumped it and then didn't eat it. Yeah. I remember as kids we went to Brown Hill Creek. Sometimes we would go to Mitcham, like where the library is there, but we actually went to Brown Hill Creek. I hooked up there once with a guy too, years ago on my 25th birthday. Muhammad said that's faggot scum. He actually, I read into him about a week ago actually, that same guy, and he doesn't like me anymore. He was really friendly at the time. He was a care worker and worked overnight and stuff. He'd been to the sauna in Adelaide, and he experimented with men because he was bisexual, but he doesn't really, we just gave each other blowjobs. That's what we did, and we finished in each other's mouths or whatever, and he really enjoyed it. And now he doesn't like me anymore, that same guy. He calls me a faggot and all these names. So things change, people, but he's also older now. That was a long time ago. But yeah, about that conservation park, it's it's Brown Hill Creek Gully. It's near the caravan park, and yeah, I remember it's always flowing, Brown Hill Creek. I think it was like in the not always, but it must have been like in a wet season where it was flowing. I remember I went there with my mum, my auntie Sharon, and her kids, and we were just mucking around at the creek, like walking down the creek, and it was really slippery. And I got this big leaf and just put it in the water. I was just flinging it up at me, and mostly me, but also it was like making other people wet. And I slipped into the water and I fell in. And that was quite funny. But So we're back here now. Let's park here. There was an interesting thing that happened here too the other day. I was walking here at night and I was walking up to... There was a guy that just was near the trees and he was just walking up to me like horizontally, and he walked up to me, like up to my face. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then he walked back to the trees. And so I kept walking. Then God was like, "Go back." Like my spirit guides were like, "Go back," and just question him. And I was like, "What are you looking forward to here?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm meeting someone here. Maybe do a bit of nookie, but I'm waiting for them." And he was like doing like a dirty laugh. I was like, can I help you out?" And he was like, "Nah, mate, nah." I was like friendly to him, and then walked away. But apparently he just didn't like what I was doing. Like he didn't like what I was like putting out there in public. So that's why he was like walking up to me and trying to intimidate me, which was really interesting. Sorry? It's because you were fasculin, I'm hearing. Fasculin. That's not what they told me at the time. They told me at the time it was because he didn't like what I was putting out there, like with cocksucking love. Oh, that's why he was like trying to intimidate me. But maybe not. They're saying it's because it was fasculin. There you go. That's why he didn't do anything with me. I find that interesting. You see, your spirit guides lie to you. They don't tell you everything. So I don't know whether that's a lie, what I just said, or not, but I'm taking it the second one's the truth if I'm putting it out there for people. So usually when you help people, they tell you the truth. Like if I'm making a video, they'll tell you all the right stuff. And if I'm not helping people, they lie to your wisdom. So yeah, God said be street smart, faggot. That's what he said. Because there's people all through here. There's sometimes people here at night time in the bushes. Like they're not always homeless people, but sometimes you hear like people in the bushes here. So like I will admit I'm not fully open yet. Like that guy walked past me like in the red fluorescent top, and I'm quite open. But there was more I was going to say about that Waterfall Gully thing. And there was one more thing I wanted to say. It was like something my auntie said it was funny, and I didn't want to say it in front of him. So that's fasculin I'm hearing. So I didn't want to be vulnerable in front of him, and so I'm not fully myself yet around people in public. Yeah. I remember Mr. Taylor chimed in and he was like, that's a bit refreshing, mate, because he can see my whole life. No shit, that's right, I was getting that leaf and I was flinging it up at me from the... Gay people are laughing. I was flinging it up because they know about this. Because they can see obviously my past. They think it's funny. Like I was flinging it up at, from the creek and flinging up the water onto me. And I was like, refreshing, refreshing, refreshing. Like every time I flung the leaf up and got the water on me and got wet, I said, that's refreshing. And I was doing it really loud and like must have been irritating people. And then I fell in the water because it was muddy and I slipped into the water, and my auntie Sharon was like, was that a bit refreshing for you, mate? It was funny. Like I used to think about that years later and I still laughed at that. She's Henrietta's lower self, Auntie Sharon, by the way, which is another fact for you. She's quite scientific, my Auntie Sharon, and Henrietta's a bit that way inclined. She loves all that stuff. So, But yeah, I didn't want to say that in front of him. So, I still get embarrassed, like, opening up about certain things in front of people. That's it, fagger. I think that's what God said. Is that it? Oh, scum, Henrietta said, scum. Oh, she thinks I should keep this on. But she's my... I think I listen to God. I think I'd just be like, Henrietta's my non-wisdom baseline. She reckons it's scum to turn the camera off. God's saying, that's it, fagger. So that's it, is it? Oh, I think that's it.